Here are five more of the best homeschooling one-liners I know. Number five, genius is an exceedingly common human quality, probably natural to most of us. John Taylor Gatto. I think this is absolutely true. I think our standardized education system sands off the most interesting genius edges of most of us. The homeschooling company was almost called rabbit hole because I think fundamentally, it's all about leaning into your strengths. Obviously, making sure you're not deficient and don't have glaring weaknesses is important, but we have natural aptitudes, and we should lean into them. Number four is the surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. Friedrich Nietzsche. This is absolutely essential to the development of your mind. You need to, conformity is it's easy. It's going downstream, and I think that all great thinkers are think extremely differently in at least some unique way. Number three is I've noticed a fascinating phenomena in my 25 years of teaching. Schools and schooling are increasingly irrelevant to the great enterprises of the planet. No one believes anymore that scientists are trained in science classes or politicians in civics classes or poets in English classes. The truth is that schools don't really teach anything except how to obey orders. John Taylor Gatto. He was New York State Teacher of the Year for like 3 or 4 years and left that system to become a huge homeschooling advocate. I think this is absolutely true. I think, practically very few people learn how to become excellent at anything through school. It's all about doing it. And why don't we just make that part of the education system? That's what we do at the homeschooling company. We're absolutely all in on project-based learning. Number two, whatever an education is, it should make you a unique individual, not a conformist. It should furnish you with an original spirit with which to tackle the big challenges. It should allow you to find values which will become your roadmap through life. It should make you spiritually rich, a person who loves whatever you are doing, whatever you are, and whomever you are with. It should teach you that it is important how to live and how to die. John Taylor Gatto. I think this is, largely reflective of the classical education. The founders of the United States studied the Greeks and the Romans, and the greats. And I think that this is something we've lost in our education system. We don't really look to the greats anymore of how to live a meaningful life. I think this is something we absolutely have to bring back to education. And number one, throughout the centuries, there were men who took the first steps down new roads armed with nothing but their own vision. The great creators, the thinkers, the artists, the scientists, the inventors stood alone against men of their time. Every new thought was opposed. Every new invention was denounced, but the men of unborrowed vision went ahead. They fought, they suffered, and they paid, but they won and ran the fountainhead. I think this is exactly what the homeschooling company is doing to education. We are those new thinkers of how do we completely reconstruct education from first principles? How do we personalize every aspect of education to each kid's goals and interests? How do we turn them into superhuman versions of themselves? This is what we're doing. And Ayn Rand